Hello and welcome to another thrilling and exciting episode of British Tech Guru. I'm your host, Zaphod Beeblebrox. Today, I will talk again about the keyboard, and there is the aforementioned keyboard, the one that has given me so many problems. Well, I was going to put it as an 8-pin device and connect it to the Pi and just use 8 GPIO pins. Well, I looked at the wiring and I said, nope, too many wires. So what I'm going to do instead, I ordered a thingamajig which converts, I think, 16 pins to I2C. So that's coming allegedly from China. I know I said I wasn't going to buy stuff from China, but I couldn't get it anywhere else. And there's actually a lot of stuff comes from China that's quite interesting. I was looking on eBay today and I saw they'd got a Pi Pico with a built-in screen. Very interesting. I don't want one, but it's very interesting. But all this gave me the problem because I was one of the reasons I did not go ahead with the 8-pin connection was that I could not locate the demonstration code that I'd come across before on doing the 4x4 keypad using 8 pins and polling between the pins. And now you might ask, well, why don't you write your own code? Well, truth is, I'm not very familiar with what this GPIO port stuff does. So today, in fact yesterday I started looking to see if I could find books on it. Well, I found books and problems. There were 2 good books that I came across on Amazon, but it seems like they only sold on Amazon. I'm pretty sure you're aware I don't buy books off Amazon. I don't buy anything off Amazon because I disagree with their policies. Now, got my notes. Amazon says, yes, if you buy $25 worth of product, you can get free shipping. Well, I said, okay, I'll do that, since they seemed to be the only people that had these 2 books. So I put them in the basket, pulled them up, went to checkout, found they were adding $6 shipping and handling. I thought that was supposed to be free. Oh, yes, and they said, okay, you can have it free as long as you promise to go for Prime at $15 a month. I don't buy enough books to make it worth getting any of these darn memberships. And Amazon has a membership of $15 a month. What's that? That's nearly $200 a year. That's not worth it. Not for 2 or 3 books a year. If I was buying stuff every month, maybe. Then I remember Barnes & Noble had something daft like that before. And you got to save 10% off the already high costs at Barnes & Noble if you spent $25 on a membership. Well, in order to make that pay, you'd have to buy more than $250 worth of books in a year. I don't buy that many books in a year. I don't even buy $25 books in books most years. So yeah, there's a lot of sharkery going on. So I went and had a look at the same a similar kind of book in Walmart. Found one for about $25. Excellent looking book. And I went to order it for in-store pickup, because that usually means I don't have to pay shipping. They wouldn't do it. Had to be shipped to home. So I'd have had to add an extra $10 of stuff. Well, I'm not going to buy an extra $10 of stuff from Walmart. I avoid Walmart. They're sharks. So I'd have had to pay like $7 shipping, which is utterly pointless. So then I went to another one of the book retailers and found the same $25 book going for $50. I'm getting rather fed up of this. And I'm getting fed up of Amazon being the sole seller of some books. That's a monopoly. I don't like monopolies. The only monopoly I like is the board game. I played a lot of that as a child. But this is not a good state of affairs. And of course Amazon destroyed all the bookstores because they brought out their Trojan horse about 10 years ago, the Kindle. So everybody said, oh, I can buy my books online when I want them from the Kindle. Thing they didn't realise, these e-readers, they're only any good for reading novels. They're no good for reading works of reference and so on. And periodicals, they're terrible for that. And for me, I don't even think an e-reader is worth the money. The colour e-readers have a nasty glowing screen that makes it hard to read anything, and you can't put your fingers between the pages and flip between pages when you're trying to understand something, as I often do. And the curse of the e-reader has meant that so many people went for e-readers in the early phase of e-readers that a lot of bookstores just went under. People weren't buying books, they were just buying these e-book things. And I'll give you an analogy. If I take a cheap paperback book and forget it, leave it on a train, I have lost $6 maybe. If I leave my e-reader on a train, I've lost $100 and more. That's ridiculous. Then if I take my book and I pack it in my suitcase and drop my suitcase, nothing untoward happens to the book. The e-reader would probably be snapped in half. Similarly, if I drop my e-reader down the centre of a flight of stairs from the 10th floor, there will be nothing left at the bottom. My book might get a crease, might get a dented corner, and that's about it. Yeah. So Amazon basically killed the high street bookstore, the main street bookstore, for no gain. And I'm not going to give them any business, because I see exactly what they're up to. They want to be the monopoly. And I don't play monopoly games with companies. You want to be a monopoly? You can be a monopoly. I'm not going to fund you. So the I2C connector will be arriving sometime. I saw that it had been handed over to the I ordered it on the 16th. I handed it over, it was handed over to the airline on the 21st. It's now, I think, probably 23rd. Yeah, it must be 23rd. I think 24th is Monday, 25th is Tuesday, and I know the 25th is payday. Yeah. Yes, I do like my money. And in fact, I need it this year because I just had to put a new transmission in my car. I knew exactly what was wrong with the old transmission. One of those stupid little electronic components had failed. And that's what the code reader said. And so I took it to the garage. I went to garage after garage after garage. One said, oh, I'll have to rebuild the transmission. It's going to be about $3,000. I thought, yeah. And how much of a guarantee would I get with that? Oh, you get a 30-day guarantee. So, next garage. Oh, we don't touch transmissions. What, not even taking the cover off and putting this, changing out this silly little electronic bit that I know is gone? Nope. Okay. Go to the dealer. Oh, we don't we don't touch transmissions. Oh, it's an Ereaders transmission. Oh yeah, we'll do that, no problem. And then they looked at it and they said, oh, it has failed between the input and output stages. Really? It has failed between the input and output stage. The input stage would be the engine, and the output stage would be the wheels. So basically, the transmission has failed somewhere. They don't know where. They're not prepared to look, and they're not prepared to try and figure it out. Great. Well, by that time, I was sick and tired of hiring other people, of borrowing other people's vehicles. So I said, oh, okay, just change the damn transmission. So $5,500 later, got my car back, works well. Transmission has a year guarantee. But that's one thing I've noticed about cars. The more electronic they get, the more fails. So if I have to get another vehicle, it will be a real old vehicle with no electronics. So, as I said, with this situation with the GPIO ports, I realise I don't know as much about the GPIO ports as I would like. And I was looking for a book about GPIO ports, which is why I happened upon the book at Amazon. And I'm still looking. As I said, now the big problem is Amazon has driven all of the big book retailers out of business. Almost all of them out of business. And Barnes & Noble used to have 2 stores in my town. One of them was quite big. That had a lot of computer books. It's gone. It's a Nordstrom now. They do have another store, cross town. When it can be found to be open, which is very rare, the contents are very unimpressive. Then Books A Million had 2 stores in town. One was absolutely massive, and you could find any book under the sun in there. I went in there several times in the past. It's gone. It's now replaced by a second-hand clothing store. Okay. Were there any other books? Oh yes, there was Walden. Well, they went bust. So, yes, Amazon has got its monopoly, and it can kiss its monopoly. I'm not buying stuff there. So, I'm still looking for books. I'm not impressed by all this online documentation stuff. I do not like it one little bit. It's as horrible as trying to read off an e-reader. So, where now? I need to go into a bookstore to look at books, to analyze them before I pick them. But the local Books A Million, the only local Books A Million, and the only local Barnes & Noble are both junk. They don't have anything. There is a book a bigger Books A Million. I almost called it a bugger Books A Million. Well, I'm probably about right for a Books A Million. They're not very good. Barnes & Noble was way better. Walden was always a kind of a meh, okay, but not that great. So it looks like I'm going to have to hit a bigger city sometime. And I really don't want to spend the money on the gas. And I'm really not sure which bigger city, because Columbia is the nearest big city, and that's got nothing in it. It's like a town from the Old West. And they practically have gunfights on the main street at noon. And it is that bad. So I'm probably going to have to hit a big bookstore sometime. A while back, I did go to Britain, and I found the same situation in Britain. All the good, decent bookstores have gone, and all we're left with is the junk. And one of the bookstores had a ton of books in it. Everybody went there. When I last saw it, it had maybe half a dozen romance novels, and that's about it. So, as I said, the hunt continues for a decent book on the Raspberry Pi Pico GPIO. And that's where I'll leave you today. Until next time, my friends, this has been another British Tech Guru production, and I'm Zaphod Beeblebrox.